I am going to show you how to make marinara sauce in the crock pot, aka gravy if you're Italian. My nanny used to call it gravy. But we're going to do a meatless marinara because this is ultimately going to be used for a baked ziti, with a vegetarian baked ziti. And excuse me because I have some onions sauteing over here on the stove top. So what you want to do is you want to start with your onion. I used about a quarter of a really big Spanish onion, or you can use like a full small onion. It really depends on what you like. And what I do is I keep like a little chunk like this so we can grate it right into the pot. But for now, I'm sauteing some onions. And as soon as that's done, we're going to put it right in the pot and then we're going to get started. Okay, so my onions are pretty much getting translucent and they're softened up. And you want to saute them, you know, like on a medium, because you don't want them to get crispy. And the reason that I like to saute before I throw it in the pan, in the crock pot, is because when you have your sauce, you don't want to have like chunks of hard onion in there. You know, it's not really good. So you want them to be softened up, and I usually throw a pinch of salt in there just to kind of get the flavors going, get the juices flowing. Okay. And if you notice, it only takes about, I'm sure you know how to saute an onion, but it only takes about 5 minutes or less. If you notice the ends start to get a little crispy, they should be done. So we're going to start with the onions in the crock pot. Okay. Alright. I'm just going to spread them out there. Give them a chance. Okay. Now I'm actually going to go with the sauce, with the tomato. Now these are ones that my husband bought. I like to get, like a decent tomato, Italian tomato. I personally usually don't get the puree, but because I'm making a couple batches, I just needed a little bit more of a filler. So I'm going to do crushed, and I'm going to do the diced, and then if we need, we'll do the puree. I have to do 2 big batches of baked ziti with this, so we'll see. And this is really easy. If you have 5 minutes to saute your onions in the morning before you go to work, then the rest of this is, like I said, it's easy peasy. Alright, so we got in there 1 can of crushed tomatoes, and now we're doing the little guy of the diced. Putting all the juice in there too, because the juice is really good. Cooks down. Okay. Now I just want to see what I have here. Now, just realized I don't think my husband bought me any paste. Paste usually, the tomato paste usually thickens it up a little bit and gives it a burst of flavor. I am actually going to add this other one here. I'm going to need it. See, I like my tomato sauce chunky. My husband likes it more smooth. That's alright. Good stuff in there. Okay. Alright, now let me see. Alright, this looks like a good amount. Okay, so now we're just going to start throwing some stuff in there. We can start with the grating. Like I said, we're going to grate the onion because it gets a lot of flavor out of there. And I probably won't do this whole thing. Just give it a little bit of love. something. Gotta watch your fingers on these bad boys too. Gotcha, they'll sneak up on you. Alright, and I've got two, like, really pretty big garlic cloves here. Because I'm pregnant, I am watching my garlic because of my acid reflux. So I'm only going to put 2 in. But generally I'd probably put 3 or 4 probably in there. Especially for the batch the size that I'm making. But it's up to you. And I like to grate it because, again, it gets all the flavors in there. And again, watch your fingers there. And I always try to hold on to the side that has that little nub. It's starting to get my eyes. Alright, gotta watch my fingers here. Alright, perfect. And I just use the edge of the wooden spoon. Get all the good stuff. Okay. And again, you want to mix it through. Okay. Get those flavors in there. Now, what I have is I'm going to start with, I use garlic as a little bit of an additive, and it's a tastefully simple product, but I'm not going to use a lot because obviously we just put some garlic in there. But this has some other kind of flavors with it. So some of that. I also put a little bit of red pepper flakes. I probably will start with not that much at all. Literally just like a little bit of flakes here. I like to crush them in my fingers as I put them in to open up those flavors. And I only start with a little bit there because, again, I'm making this for other people. And we don't know how much spice they like. And then I'll add more as I go. I have my oregano here, and I'm going to put about a palm full of that. And again, I'm going to wake it up. My basil, and again, about a palm full of that. And I need some more basil. Some parsley. I like to use some fresh parsley and basil in it, but it is season's over. We actually just pulled our plant out. Our herbs. They didn't make it all the way through the season. So I'm down to the dried herbs. And this is my tastefully simple seasoned salt. I love the seasoned salt. And I'm kind of just going to eyeball it, but, you know, obviously start with a little bit, and then as you go. When you get home from work, you can always taste it and let it sit for another half hour if you need to add something. You know, just be careful. You don't want to over salt it. But this is a lot of tomato sauce, so you do want to season it well. And I'm going to use some cracked pepper. And final, this is a seasoning that I bought. It's a mixed seasoning, and it has like a tomato basil flavor to it. It looks like there's some rosemary in there, some other good stuff, but I love whenever I do anything Italian, I just put a little bit of this in there. It gives it a nice flavor. I actually put it in my omelet too. I don't know, I love it in my omelets. Okay. And again, we're going to mix this up. It's splattering on my face. And make sure you get it mixed up good so you get all your spices throughout the sauce. Okay. Now, this is a meat sauce. I would have a veal bone in here. Give it some extra. I'm also not putting any wine in. I usually do like to put a little white wine, but I'm not putting it in for this because we're making it for other people. And that's about it. If you have tomato paste, I would put a little squirt in there. Turn it on, put it on low, 8 hours. When you get home, it should be done. I hope you enjoy, and I hope this gave you a little inspiration for an easy marinara sauce.